Second, what if your great-grandchildren don't live on Earth at all? Imagine them waking up in the morning, looking out their bedroom window, and instead of seeing our familiar blue sky, they're looking out at a completely alien, red landscape stretching all the way to the horizon.
No oceans, no forests. Literally just a sprawling human city built entirely from scratch on a completely different world. For thousands of years, humanity has pushed the boundaries of exploration across land and sea. But our next major frontier? It's not across an ocean. It's across the vastness of space.
Section 1. A Future Beyond Earth.
Section 2. Humanity's Ultimate Backup Plan.
So, why even take on this massive challenge? Well, it boils down to this simple equation. 1 planet equals 1 point of failure. Right now, we're essentially treating Earth like a giant single hard drive holding all of human history, all of our progress. And that is incredibly risky, because we don't have a backup drive. We're completely isolated. Any catastrophic event puts the entire human story in jeopardy.
And we all know what those existential threats look like, right? A massive asteroid impact out of nowhere, a sudden, unstoppable global disaster, or even a total environmental collapse. Any one of these could literally wipe out everything we've ever built. It makes having a contingency plan absolutely 100% urgent.
That is exactly why we need a civilization backup. Space colonization isn't just about us exploring for the sake of curiosity anymore. It's basically our ultimate insurance policy. Establishing a secondary location ensures essential species preservation if the unthinkable ever actually happens to Earth.
Section 3. Surviving the Red Planet.
Now, Mars is basically the top candidate here. But comparing Mars to Earth, well, it's a stark contrast. The harsh reality is that Mars is freezing cold, incredibly dry, and frequently blanketed in violent, deadly dust storms. But the hidden resource changes the equation completely. There is abundant water ice trapped right beneath that dusty, red surface.
And getting to that ice, processing it, that's the key to the whole shebang. The uses for Martian ice are incredible. We melt it and purify it for drinking water. We separate the molecules to create breathable oxygen for our habitats. And, amazingly, we can even manufacture it into rocket fuel. That means we can power our ongoing tech and actually fuel ships to return to Earth.
Okay, so how do we pull this off? Building a Martian city happens in some very precise steps. First up, AI and robots arrive way before we do to lay the heavy groundwork and build the infrastructure. Step 2, they construct special habitats designed specifically to block out the deadly surface radiation. Third, we get advanced indoor farms running to grow food. And finally, step 4, only when those life support systems are fully humming along do human settlers actually arrive on the planet.
Section 4. Rotating space habitats. But you know, planetary surfaces aren't our only option. Some scientists are looking beyond dirt and rock entirely, designing giant space stations that just exist freely out in the vacuum of space. The real secret to making these futuristic structures work? Artificial gravity. By designing these massive habitats to rapidly rotate, centrifugal force pushes everything outward toward the hull. It creates a gravity-like effect for everyone inside. Your body would literally feel it downward pull, exactly like you feel sitting in your chair watching this right now. And the scale of these things, thousands to millions, it is absolutely staggering. We are not talking about the cramped tin cans of early space stations. Scientists are designing these habitats to house thousands or even millions of people at a time. Whole populations could live their entire lives inside these orbiting environments. If you were inside a space habitat, it would feel surprisingly familiar. These places could feature totally Earth-like amenities. We're talking real homes and neighborhoods, lush green public parks, schools for the kids, thriving businesses. Just imagine taking a vacation to a luxury space hotel, or commuting between different planets and orbiting megastructures as just a regular part of your week.
Section 5. The Multi-Planet Choice.
I know, hearing about Mars cities and million-person space rings feels impossibly distant. But let's go from impossible to inevitable for a second, and look at the timeline. In 1903, the very first airplane took flight. By 1983, the internet was born. By 2007, smartphones completely revolutionized how we interact with the world. Magic basically becomes reality in just a few decades, right? Space colonies are just the next inevitable marker on this timeline. Because of that immense technological momentum we have right now, the choice is ours. The biggest question is no longer whether we can build these colonies. We are actively developing the rockets, the AI, and the habitat technology right this second. The real question is whether we will actively choose to use them to become a multi-planet species. I really want you to let this powerful realization sink in. The first city beyond Earth may be built within your lifetime. Think about that. Human history is on the verge of entering a completely new chapter, and we are the generation standing right on the edge of this massive evolutionary leap.
Which leaves us with one final, deeply personal question to think about as this sci-fi future rapidly becomes our reality. Would you move to Mars if given the chance? Seriously, would you leave Earth to be a pioneer on a completely new world? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.